Hey everybody, welcome to the channel. Thanks for joining us today on JT Mods. Today we're going to be installing the Hauk Offroad Gladiator badging kit. So I have had this kit for quite some time now. Unfortunately, I'm very indecisive, so I have elected to have the kit vinyl wrapped. This is my second go. This is my second color. The first color I didn't like, so had to wait a little bit, get it redone. Now we're back to the drawing board. So today we're going to get this on. As you can see, I already have my tailgate. I've already got the Jeep removed, and I also have a vinyl wrap across the back of my tailgate. So if you're interested on how we got to this point, check out my vinyl tint and ceramic video. I'll put it kind of here in the top so that you can click on it. But that'll show you, if you want to know how to get the Jeep emblem off, that'll show you that. Today we're going to quickly we're going to put the kit on. I've looked at it a little bit of ahead, so there's a couple things I want to point out. We're going to make this a short video. Like I said, I kind of debated as to whether or not to even record the video, but as people are continuing to get more and more JTs, you've already seen a ton that say Gladiator across the tailgate, and it looks great. So I just thought I'd put something out there on the channel to make sure we're kind of covering the truck from when we got it to where we're at the time. So anyways, thanks again for joining. Let's take a quick look at what's in the kit and then we'll get to work. All right, so everything that comes in the kit is very basic. Comes with your instructions, comes obviously with the badging letters that have 3M adhesive peel off backing so that you can stick them onto the tailgate, and it comes with the mock-up template, which we'll take a look at shortly. The only things that you'll really need is you'll need painter's tape and alcohol to clean the bed before you stick on the badging. So the template is very straightforward. It's labeled, so you've got one side, you got A to A, you marry those, and then B to B. So that, that's the gist of it. You'll see it in a second. But this main middle piece, this cutout, goes over the backup camera. So once you kind of tape this thing together, it goes over the backup camera, level it out, use your painter's tape to put the template together, but then also to kind of put it on the truck until you feel like it's level, and then you're ready to set the letters inside of these little grooves. So we'll go ahead and move to that. Just wanted to kind of show you what it comes with. Again, it's really basic. Let's get to it. All right, so before we get started, one of the main things I do want to point out are these two holes. So if you can see, there's a hole here, it's under my vinyl, and a hole here. Both of those holes are from the Jeep emblem, and that's very critical that you cover them. I say it's critical. The instructions are based on it. So to kind of show you, I've kind of mocked this up. The sticker says, before securing template, make sure factory lettering holes are showing through letters D and A. So what that's really saying is that when you mock this up, you want to see the factory hole. This would be an A. And this hole would be D. The problem with that, and the problem that I see of a lot of the Gladiators that have already installed this kit, is that this template, Hauk did a great job, but the eye is going to be off-centered over your camera. So let me grab the eye real quick. So as you can see, the eye is a little bit to the left of center of the camera. But in order to cover these holes, that's kind of the design of the template. Now, for me, that would drive me crazy looking at it every day. So I'm going to modify it a little bit. Now you could, in theory, you could take all of your measurements. You could look at the measurements between each letter. If I really wanted to spend a whole day on this, I could take a straight edge, tape a straight edge, because the way that the Gladiator is based, kind of designed, is that the top of all the letters will be the same, even though the bottom points sometimes end lower than other letters. But you could do all the measurements and you could really figure out how to center it and try to cover everything. I'm not going to do that. What I am going to do is I'm going to move the eye over to be centered. And then I'm going to take the measurements from the last point of the last letter and the last point of the first letter. And I'm going to try with the eye centered to get it as even as possible from the edge of the right side of the bed to the edge of the left side of the bed. Because I have the vinyl, it's not as critical that those letters be covered. Would I prefer that they be covered? Absolutely. Just aesthetically, I'm not worried about water getting in there again because of the vinyl, but I don't want to spend all day on it either. So I'm going to do the best I can to center the eye, make it look as center as possible just to the eye. But I did want to point that out. Just, you can slap it on there, you can throw it on, and it looks good. And if you know, that kind of stuff, just being off a little bit doesn't bug you, it'll be fine. But I did want to point that out. All right, so I've got it mocked up. As you can see, I've gotten the eye a lot more center than what the template originally comes with. The thing I do want to point out, if you don't have vinyl on your tailgate, you would either want to spend more time to work on the measurements to spread these out, or just go with the template, have your eye off centered a little bit, because one of the holes is here, and as you can see, it's going to be partially covered, but the other hole falls in between the A and the D. It's actually right here. So if you didn't have vinyl, it would be completely uncovered. What I've seen a lot of people that use the template, kind of looked in the forums, that they use the template but they don't have the vinyl and they're kind of half covered. Even with the template, they're not fully covered. They've kind of put silicone behind it to seal off the tailgate from water running in. So that's always an option as well. For me, again, because we've got the vinyl, I'm going to go ahead with the eye centered and I'm going to lay it in like this. If you have the same setup, how I measured this to keep it even without actually taping, you know, a straight edge to work towards, I picked a line which happened to be where this crease is at with the vinyl, and I measured down all the way across at the top point of this cutout. Now, you have to know that some of these obviously are not the same, but a lot of these points on here, so on and so forth, are the same height. So I measured from here to the top of the vinyl, from here to the top of the vinyl, from here, and so on and so forth, where it was level, to make sure that measurement stayed consistent across. And then from side to side, as I mentioned, from this edge to the edge of the bed, tailgate, on both sides is within a 1/16 of an inch. So from an eye perspective, once we get everything on there, it'll look very centered. So we're gonna go ahead and place on the letters. One thing I would advise, I got so caught up in trying to center the template and do all the measurements, I should have wiped the whole thing down with alcohol before I even started working on my template. I didn't, so I had to spend a lot of time being careful going in between each crack, trying not to mess up my template, and then I had to remeasure it all again. So skip that step, do your alcohol first, save yourself some time. All right, guys, well, that's a wrap. I hope you found that helpful. Again, I knew it was gonna be a short video. Template, it's pretty straightforward. I just kind of want to show you what I found as far as some of the tips and tricks maybe to consider when you're doing this install. I'm extremely happy with the way it turned out. If you found this helpful, please like the video, subscribe to the channel, check out our other videos. We've moved pretty good speed on the build, but we've got a lot in front of us, so we'd love to have you support the channel and join us on that journey. Thanks, guys.